there's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
This is Mack Mullins from The CEO, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father, and as always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to welcome Mack Mullins. He is the lead singer and founder of The CEO. The CEO is set to release their debut album, Redemption, on June 25th via Rat Pak Records. The CEO features Sevendusts bassist Vince Hornsby. Also, check out their debut single, Redemption, and you guys won't be disappointed because this is a banger. So, Mack, man, how you doing? And welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for that introduction. I appreciate you having us. So we're excited to, finally have this thing drop. So we've been sitting on it for a little while because of COVID, obviously. So it's exciting times. So I appreciate you having us. Not
a problem whatsoever. How excited are you guys to hopefully get back out on the road and tour some and play some shows? Because I know some states are opening up.
Yeah, I tell you, obviously, there's a whole bunch of people that have been sitting on the sidelines. Obviously, Vince with Sevendusts, they finally got their 2021 tour schedule put out. So they're pretty solid for June and July, which means we'll probably, get back out there once he is off, in the fall. So there's a lot of pent-up demand out there, a lot of folks hitting the road. So a lot of it's really just a matter of, getting it scheduled.
Did you find yourself doing anything differently other than working on music during the pandemic, such as like collecting or catching up on anything that you were lacking on?
The record was pretty much done before the whole COVID thing started. So then it was just a matter of, the business end of getting the record out there. So we spent a good amount of time with that. And then later in the process, we just started writing, the next album, just kind of give us something to do in addition to, just your standard everyday merry-go-normal live stuff.
It's going to be interesting to see all these albums come out. I know the ones that come out now, but all these bands that have stuff that's coming out later on, to see where their heads were and to even see if that even makes the light of day, because, they could write something totally different.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And obviously whatever you're writing, you're directly impacted by your atmosphere and what's going on in the world. And, it certainly makes a difference. And I know there's quite a few artists out there that, have finished work product, and, it's just a matter of, getting it scheduled, especially if they're with a label and, when they can put their manpower behind it. Like I said, we were setting for, at least a year on this one. So,
jeez.
In our minds, it's brand new, but to the world, it's brand new. In our minds, it's, we're on to the next. So we're excited.
How did the band come together?
Well, it's interesting enough, most of these guys, with the exception of Vince, who obviously is, busy with Sevendusts, but most of these guys I've known for a long time. And we played in various bands together over the years. And it's really, these are my friends that, I enjoy writing music with. So it had started off as a solo project, just, an outlet for me to write some original material and get that out there. So, I put out an album, basically, I called it CEO, but it was basically a solo record a couple years ago. And fortunately, that it got the attention of Vince and some key folks. And then, so when we started to put together the group to record this record that's coming out now, it was just a matter of, getting my friends back together again, getting my writing partners, folks I like to play with. And it really just kind of evolved out of a group of friends that we've been playing together for a long period of time. We enjoy the music, we enjoy writing together. And, that's really kind of the long and short of it. So it's pretty organic.
Now, I know you said that you had these songs written for a while, but as a band, were you a little nervous releasing this album right now, since bands couldn't tour or do anything much other than just maybe do live stream shows? Were you guys a little nervous or hesitant?
I don't think so. Again, we've been sitting on it for a while. Obviously, as we let this COVID disaster play itself out, and, the label felt like the timing was good. Again, Vince is going to be on tour for, a couple of months, and then once he comes back, it's still going to be relatively fresh, and, we'll be able to go out and play some shows and kind of push this thing. So I feel pretty good about the timing relative to what's going on in the world, and and our little place in it. So I'm excited about it.
Okay, Mac, what's impressed or excited you the most about making this debut album, if anything, man? What sticks out the most about it for you?
Well, I think for me, it was the opportunity to work with, Elvis Basquette, the producer on the record. His resume speaks for itself, and the halls of his home are lined with some amazing platinum records. Obviously, he just finished up with Wolfgang Van Halen and got a #1 out of that.
Mm-hmm.
And, quite a few bands that we love. His relationship with Sevendust. So the fact that we got to work with him, that was probably the most nerve-wracking for me, because Slash sits in that chair. Miles Kennedy sits in that sound booth, behind those microphones. So to be stepping into something like that and working with a group like him, but he was fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Great to work with. Easy as it could be. I absolutely love that process and can't wait to do it again. So that, for me, that's probably the most exciting and surprising and nerve-wracking piece of developing the Redemption record.
He has recorded and produced an amazing amount of albums, and like you said, his client list, man, is just insane on who he's worked with, and just put out some awesome banging albums for sure.
And the coolest guy on the planet. You would think somebody like that would, have a certain ego about himself, or kind of look down upon you because you might not have the, the album sales that he's used to working with these guys. But man, he treated us just like he would treat, some of the biggest names in rock music. So he was fantastic, uber talented. His whole team is fantastic. So I couldn't say enough about the production, the sound, the quality, everything on this record is top notch.
So working with him, did he get something out of you that working with somebody else you may not have gotten possibly? Did he push you on these songs?
Well, it's funny is like any great producer, he has the ability to see the entire song probably before you do. I'm not necessarily I can play guitar. I'm not necessarily a guitar player or a drummer, that type of thing. I'm a lyric writer, I'm a melody writer, that type of thing. And, he's in there working with the musicians on the stuff and putting the pieces of the puzzle together and seeing a big picture. So when we go in and we start to play or start to sing a melody line or some lyrics, he already sees the song before you see it. So he'll say, here, try this, or hey, let's shorten this piece and, whatever, because he already knows what it looks like before you do. And so that's probably the biggest push was, the development of big picture type stuff.
Any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the album? I know it must change every time you listen to it or you talk about it. I know these are your babies, but are there any that stand out for you possibly?
Yeah, obviously they're all very personal. Each were written during a time period of your life and something that is, that it's very meaningful for you and to you. There's 13 songs. 13 songs on the record. One of them is a cover. But each one of them is, like you said, it's my baby. Obviously we led with Redemption because, we thought that was like you said, it was a banger. It comes out of the gate pretty strong. There's quite a few of that on this record. There's some stuff that's got some really cool groove to it. And, again, a lot of the subject matter is very personal to me. So, right now, obviously, I'm really loving Redemption. Our next single will be Behind These Eyes, which is probably, lyrically my favorite song on the record. But there's quite a few tracks on there that I'm hoping mean something to somebody.
And you know what the cool part is about this album? It's not just your standard album, 1,000 miles an hour, and every song sounds the same. Is that these songs are different, and I say this a lot, but it's like a roller coaster. These songs are different from each one. It's like it's their own identity on this album. So kudos to you guys for actually doing that.
Well, I can tell you, and that's probably, I don't know if it makes us unique, but definitely the most interesting part for me with this group is, And I got two guys that are in their 20s. I've got one guy that's in his 30s. Of course, Vince and I are, both in our 50s. So you can imagine the input and the influence that, each one of us brings to the table. I mean, the younger guys are listening to, Periphery and Meshuggah and stuff like that. That's a little more, definitely relevant today. So they bring that to the table. They bring a certain drumming style or a guitar playing style. The guy's in his 30s, he's got certain influence and he brings a certain style. And of course, Vince and I, being a little bit older, we've got certain, more of the, I come from really like the funky rock from back in the day. So I got a certain cadence to that. So I think it, to your point, each song has its own vibe because there's so many just different influences that kind of come together and make this particular sound. And then of course, when Elvis puts his fingerprints on it, it all sounds like it belongs together on one record. And that's the cool part about it.
Now, let me ask you this. Were there any songs that didn't make this album that we could see down the line? Did you mention earlier that you already have enough for another full length? Is that right? Or did I hear incorrectly?
No, you're right. We probably, we demoed probably 25 songs. And like I said, we ended up doing 14, and one was a cover that Elvis suggested, which was actually came out really good. And then, so we have a few of those left over, but these guys have been writing and sending me stuff that's all brand new for the most part. And we could probably go down to the studio, next week and have another record done in a few weeks.
Oh, geez.
We've got that much material.
Wow. Was there a song that you guys are working on that totally ended up sounding different than intended to, or maybe took a major turn and ended up sounding totally different than what it was?
There was one track in particular. It was actually written by our guitar player and another guitar player friend of his that have a direct line into Nashville, and they pitched quite a few songs to the country music artists. So they actually brought this song to me, and I was like, I like the music, but I didn't really like the melody and the lyrics. I didn't really think they kind of fit us. So I punted on it. I was like, thanks, but no thanks. But Elvis heard it, and he was like, no, we could do. I like this song. We could do something with it. Here, take it home with you, and we're gonna rock it up a little bit. And it was the ballad on the album, which is called Black Hearts. And obviously, it doesn't sound anything like a country song at all. And I think it's relevant to what it is that we're doing. So that's, to me, probably the one that I'm most proud of how it came out, and I think there's going to be quite a few people that like it as well.
Who did the very cool artwork for this album? Because you've got that look like the Terminator and Two-Face on here. I like it with the suit. Who did the artwork?
It's this young man down in, I want to say he's in Brazil, that does a lot of the album artwork for the Rat Pak roster. I know he did Todd LaTorre's album. He's done Todd Michael Hall, quite a few different ones. And, obviously he did this one. I think his name is Jean Michael, and his last name escapes me, but super talented guy, very, 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 very cool, very good to do the music. So we were very pleased when we saw what he put together for us.
Mac, what do you hope everybody takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to the CEO's music in general? What do you hope they get, man, when they start listening to it?
I think personally for me, it's an album of, we're calling it redemption. It's a matter of, whatever it is that you're going through in your life personally or what's going on in the world. I mean, there's an opportunity to turn, coin a cheesy phrase, but, lemons into lemonade. I mean, it's really that kind of, hey, no matter where you are in this world, where, you might be behind the eight ball or standing on top of the world, there's still, there's opportunities to, there's something to be positive, happy, something to smile about. There is redemption. There is, especially with a lot of the politics that's going on in the world and the things you see on the news and that kind of thing. It could be really easy for people to get down and depressed and that type of thing. And it happens to all of us. But, relative to that, there's plenty to be excited and happy about. So if someone listens to this record and, leaves with a message of hope and positivity, then I guess, we've done our job.
Now, I know you had a lot of music growing up, and plus still to this day you have a lot of music, but did you have that one go-to album or song that you had to have like every other week or every couple of weeks that you just kept going back to, that gave you inspiration or just, let you overcome obstacles or just let you escape for a while, man? Did you have that one go-to album or song possibly?
Yeah, I I think for me, I mean, I grew up my first 7 years in foster homes, and, you know, that was a particular environment that, you know, obviously didn't have a lot of music, you know, available to you. So after I got adopted at 7, my very first Christmas gift that I ever got, I unwrapped Kiss Alive 2.
Oh, nice.
First song, first side, you know, you hear I've never seen anything like it. Got this big gatefold, and you see these, you know, these crazy guys, and that stage is on fire, and they played Detroit Rock City. And to this day, whenever I listen to it, I mean, I get chills, and, you know, it just changed my entire life listening to that record. So that's the one for me.
And the crazy thing about that is, man, that live album is changing other people's lives. And it changed Kiss's life too, because if it wasn't for that live album or any live album for them, they wouldn't be around. And it absolutely blows my mind because they're a phenomenal band back in the day, you know?
Yeah, you're right. But, you know, to listen to Kiss is to see them live, you know what I mean? And that had a huge influence on, you know, our live shows and the way we approach, you know, the stage set. And that's like, you know, obviously they're on a different plane, but, you know, I like their, you know, attitude of you got to be entertaining. You know, it's more than just music. It's a show. It's entertainment. It's, you know, what have you. So yeah, a huge influence on us and me in particular.
Folks, you want to get out and pick up the CEO's debut album entitled Redemption on June 25th via Rat Pak Records. You definitely want to get out and pick this up and support this band. Mack, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this new album, everything with you guys, or just say hi? How can they do that?
Well, obviously, we're on Facebook as the CEO Band. We're on Instagram and Twitter and, you know, the usual social media. You know, obviously, we have our own website, theceoband.com. So, you know, any of those social media outlets are certainly available. And, you know, we look forward to seeing everyone, look forward to talking to everyone. And, you know, for me personally, I'd love to know what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And what can we do better? So that's kind of... that's what I hope to hear from these folks.
And before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
You tell me what you need. This is Mack Mullins from the CEO, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour Podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link and our YouTube link, and you definitely want to subscribe to our YouTube link because we got a lot of stuff coming up and some giveaways too. Also, get out and check out the CEO. They're set to release their debut album entitled Redemption on June 25th via Rat Pak Records. Please check these guys out and check out their single Redemption. You will not be disappointed, and give these guys a fair shot. Mack, I wish you all nothing but the best of luck, man.
And same to you, and we really appreciate the support and all the love you guys are showing us. You guys are amazing, and thanks a lot.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.